Hey parents, this video is to celebrate this year's fourth graders. But before we do that, we might want to ask, what was it last year's fourth graders did, and the year before that, and the year before that, to get the highest scores on the state test in reading and writing? Well, the answer is kind of simple. They did a couple of things. They learned to understand what they read, through Common Lit and through phonics and all those good things, but they also did advanced writing. So just what is advanced writing? Well, it's something I started a few years ago, and it makes people want to read what's been written. In fact, it engages the reader. And so one of the things we do to make people want to read what we've written is we have a paragraph of main idea hook questions. Instead of a boring old main idea statement, we do them in the form of questions. It makes the reader think. It makes the reader wonder. It makes the reader want to read what's coming next. Another paragraph we do, and these are both short little paragraphs, is a paragraph that pictures the setting. If you give the reader a picture of what they're reading about, they'll have a better idea of actually what they are reading about. And so they're just the appetizers of the essay. And of course, the main part of the essay comes when students are answering the question. They're supporting the question with tons and tons of evidence, and they end it with a conclusion. And so that's what advanced writing is. So we're going to look at some of the fourth graders already this year and celebrate what they are doing. We were reading about a boy who was about to face his first hurricane, and he was totally stumped as to what to do. And so here's Abby. She's giving us a good picture through her background note paragraph. It was a bright and cloudy morning. Seagulls flew fast like sonics. We love to use similes like that. The waves splashed like an underneath water tornado. Palm trees blew like monsters shaking it, and on she went to give us a picture. But then comes her main idea hook questions. Have you ever been in a hurricane before? Have you ever started to do something but you stop because you don't know why? See, she totally hammers the main idea because this boy was supposed to pick up coconuts, but he didn't know why. Well, it's because they become cannonballs flying through the air in a hurricane. And then comes another good hook question. If your parents ever told you to do something but you never do it? And see, that happened to the boy too. So she completely got the main idea through her question hooks. And then she went on with her evidence and her conclusions. And that is exactly what good writing is. Here's Brooklyn's. Have you ever been caught in a hurricane before? She started out with her main idea hook questions. Have you ever not understood what was going on? Totally got the main idea because that was happening to this boy. Maybe you've been asked to pick up coconuts. Do you live near or on a beach? And then comes her hook paragraph. It was the most beautiful day outside near the beach. Birds were singing in the sky. Flowers were blooming in the gardens. Kids were playing before it was too late to play. Seagulls flew through the sky over the ocean. It was peaceful. Oh, and I love how she leads into the hurricane. Suddenly that changed. Wow, that's like foreshadowing, a sophisticated writing technique. Then she tells all about Jason. And she ends with a beautiful conclusion, which is, how did the boy's understanding about a hurricane change throughout the reading? Yahoo, Brooklyn. Here's another one. Have you ever been in a situation where you're going through a hurricane experience? Have you ever had a serious job? Wow. It was a stormy day. The clouds are as gray as silver. The clouds are covering the sky. The sun is breaking through the clouds as water that belongs to the ocean rises up to the sand. And then he tells all about Jason. That was Hunter's. Wow, way to go, Hunter. Here's another one. It was cold. The clouds were puffy and big. The sun was nowhere to be seen. The sea was a blackish gray. And so we're learning to use adjectives, powerful adjectives and verbs. Waves were unpleasantly getting bigger, like a puddle to a lake. Could you hear that? Wow. Rain started to fall. It looked like gorgeous diamonds falling from heaven, but slowly it turned into tiny rocks falling from heaven. And beautiful, beautiful. And then comes her hook questions. That happened to be Alana Wangelas. Oh my gosh, what beautiful words. Here, this one starts out with her questions. You ever been in a hurricane? Have you ever packed for something? You ever had a coconut? You ever been on live TV? Because that boy wound up being on live TV. One day, there was a beautiful, peaceful ocean. The sun came out and there was sand and palm trees and there were coconuts. It was a beautiful sunset. The sky was pink. In 3 hours till midnight. And then tells all about it. That was Christina's. Yahoo, Christina. Here's the next one. Have you ever been in a hurricane? Have you prepared for a hurricane? See, the whole story was about that. Wow, all those questions were great. It was a mostly beautiful day outside near the beach. The waves were calm. The sand was hot and it burned your feet when you stepped on it. Children playing in the sun. And the sun was blazing with no clouds. It seems like nothing was going to happen until ... Wow, beautiful writing. And he goes on to tell about that. And this happened to be Payson's. Yahoo, Payson. Here's another one. It was morning. The sun was shining bright like a tiny diamond. You hear that simile? It was very early in the morning. The sounds of small waves of water. The sky is perfectly baby blue. Have you ever got coconuts for it so they don't cause damage? And I missed the one. Have you ever prepared for a hurricane with your family? Do you live on the beach? And it tells all about Jason. All that beautiful evidence. That was Liliana Lewis. Way to go, Liliana. There's another one. Have you ever been in a hurricane before? Have you ever had an important job? See, Jason had an important job. Wow, it was a bright sunny day. People are standing in the sand right next to the beach. Eagles are flying around and the sun has been better than before. Dark clouds came as dark as night. And it was a sunny day and Jason came down the stairs and he saw his mom and dad standing right next to the television and he knows that means they're not watching for fun. Wow, that was Jaylene's. Way to go, Jaylene. Here's another one. The white, bright blue sky was shining in the white, bright clouds, and the water was splashing, and the sand and the palm trees were shaking to the speed of the wind, and seagulls, crabs coming and going. Have you ever been in a hurricane? When your elders tell you to do something, like to clean, and have not done it? Yahoo! It was a normal morning, on and on she goes. This person goes with the evidence. That's Anaxes. Yahoo, Anaxes. Here's another one. Have you ever been in a hurricane before? Have you picked coconuts before a hurricane? And are you ready for the hurricane when it hits? It was a cloudy morning and the sun was covered with clouds. The palm trees are shaking like they're dancing and the waves are crashing into the shore. The coconuts are falling on the beach. And then comes her evidence. There's Arias. Wow. Then we did a story too of a person who gets lost on a hike and is panicked because that person can't find his way back. You ever been lost? You ever been on a hike? Have you ever seen animal tracks? See, all of these hit the main idea. Have you ever seen a boulder that's the size of a house? And have you ever got distracted? Yeah, see, his distraction made him get lost. It was a freezing afternoon. The cold breeze was pushing the trees. Snowflakes were hitting the ground. The animals were hibernating. And then he tells all about what happened. That was Braden's. What beautiful writing. It was a snowy morning. The trees were covered. Deers were looking for food. The snow was as white as a cloud. I love this one. Have you ever been in a bad situation? See, that's exactly what this was about. Poor Lucas got lost. What a panicking feeling. Have you ever seen a boulder way bigger than you? And have you ever been scared? Have you ever had to rely on your instincts? See, that's exactly what he had to do when he got lost. Boy, Sterling totally hammered the main idea in this one. It was beautiful. Yahoo, Sterling. Here's another one. Have you ever got lost before? Have you ever followed your steps? That's exactly what happened. What good hook questions. Have you ever been scared? You missed your family when you're lost? Snowflakes come down from the sky. The mountain was full of snow. The snow was hanging off the street. Everybody was putting their jackets on. Tells all about Lucas. That was Dylan. Yahoo, Dylan. Ended with the theme. Don't ever give up. Yahoo! Have you ever gone hiking before? Have you ever gotten lost before? Have you ever been scared before? It was a snowy morning. Birds were chirping in the background. The trees were swishing through with the birds. And he tells all about that. Was Nolan's. Way to go, Nolan. Have you ever did not think about before you did it? That's exactly what happened to him. Have you ever followed your instincts? Listen to this. Listen to this simile. The snow fell like soft marshmallows. It was glazing, joyful morning. Snow coming like a storm. Trees were making the sound of a windmill. Woodpeckers were racing through. Tells all about Luke. That was Prisca's. Yahoo! Have you ever seen animal tracks? Have you ever seen a rock as big as a house before? Have you ever been in the dark? Man, all those are perfect, fitting the main idea exactly. One snowy afternoon, the wind was at a high speed. The snow was falling out of the sky. The sky was filled with clouds. There was Alana. Yahoo! There was a big, long storm. Shutters were banging. Oh, this is another story. This was about animals being stuck in a barn during a storm. Shutters were banging, the barn was shaking, and a whole bunch of stuff was strong like the wind. Branches busted up. Boom, boom, there was lightning outside. Have you ever been scared by a storm? Have you ever even not liked a storm? Have you ever gotten scared by a whole bunch of lightning? And have you ever seen an egg? And have you ever taken care of an egg? Because see, in this storm, a little egg rolled into the barn, and all the animals claimed it. They thought it was theirs. That was Nicholas. Yahoo, Nicholas. The sky was dusty. The wind was shaking the barn. Boom, boom. Thunder hit. Pink clouds in the sky. Have you ever been in a storm? Have you ever had a surprise before? See, this whole thing was about a surprise, because the egg that rolled in, all the animals thought it was theirs. Well, it turned out it was a turtle, so it wasn't anybody in the barn's egg. Have you ever been different for someone? You ever seen a turtle egg? All of those questions just hit the main idea. That was Rosalind's. Beautiful. It was a stormy night. It was a powerful storm. The barn was making weird noises. Thunder was striking down. The rain was loud. Have you ever thought something was yours, but it's not? Wow. Perfect main idea. That was Cassidy's. One dark night, the barn was shaking, the wind was howling, branches were shaking, the rain was falling out of the clouds. Yahoo! You ever seen an egg before? Have you ever loved an animal that's not your species? Man, that totally nailed the main idea. Have you ever treated an animal like your own kind? Wow, wow, beautiful. That was Anicia's. Yahoo to you. It was a stormy night. Everything was cold and the rain poured on everything. The wind made the door go back and forth. The rain was everywhere and animals were chilling in the barn. Wow. And he went on and on. This is Anthony S. Yahoo to you. This person just uses the classiest words. Have you ever seen an ovum hatch into a turtle? Oh my gosh, that's so cool. Or have you ever seen farm animals talk about if they lost an ovum and think it's theirs and think it will resemble them, but unfortunately it doesn't? Wow. It was a treacherous storm. The wind was hitting the barn walls like it's boxing. This is Logan. Logan got us going on similes. Lightning was hitting the ground like it was trying to charge the ground. Trees were moving as if they were cheer poems. And on Logan went. Wow, cool. There was a gutsy, stormy night. The wind blew as fast as it could. Trees and bushes were blowing because of the wind. Lightning was striking concrete in the barn, with water dripping down from the ceiling. Have you ever cared for something you didn't have? Wow, what a profound main idea hook question. Have you ever been in a really bad thunderstorm? That was Karan's. And so the cool thing about the whole thing is everyone is just growing by leaps and bounds. They're starting out from where they're at. Everyone is now writing. Yeah, everyone is. Oh my gosh, that's so fun to see. People that never wrote a thing are now writing, and people are just rising up to great heights. And where they're at right now makes me like really, really excited because they're just doing amazing stuff. And we've got the whole year to fine tune all the things like making sure we're in sync with the story, making sure we have periods and capital letters, and that we have sentences that make sense. That's a hard thing. So parents, if you ever want to get on Google Classroom and just celebrate the writing with them and maybe work on editing, we've been learning a lot of what sentence structure is. Yep, it's the subject and the predicate. Yep, it's the someone or something, doing or being, and then we need the period. And so every morning we snatch someone's paragraph and we revise and edit it. So it's all an evolution. Great writing, yeah, it doesn't happen in one day. I mean, I wish it did. It's the hardest thing I teach, but it's also the most exhilarating. Every day, the kids beg to have their writing go up on the screen. And what teaches everyone is seeing the other students writing. And we just marvel over, oh my gosh, look at those words and look at what they did and look at how that question nailed the main idea. And so I just wanted to share with you that we are so excited about everyone's writing. Even if your fourth grader's essay wasn't shown in this, it's like we are just plain old excited. Yahoo to the fourth graders this year.